The Paris terror attacks is a big wake-up call for India as intelligence inputs point at a dangerous trend. Official details have been accessed by India today from the most comprehensive intelligence dossier on ISIS, showing that the Islamic State's footprint goes way beyond flag waving by fringe groups and a handful of arrests that have been made. It's an India Today exclusive.
Week after week, you've seen ISIS flags being waved in Kashmir. You saw our reports on youth being arrested for their direct or indirect links to the Islamic State. And then we told you about the big arrest of Afsha Jabin, suspected to be a top ISIS recruiter in India. But do these three images complete the ISIS threat picture in India? Not even close.
Official details accessed by India today from this most comprehensive of intelligence dossiers in the Islamic State show that the Islamic State's footprint in India goes way beyond just flag waving by fringe groups or even the handful of arrests that have actually been made. These documents show that ISIS operations are extensive already and that India happens to be a high priority country for ISIS operations. And this means that India's defense and preparedness for the Islamic State is now non-negotiable.
The most brutal phase of the ISIS the world has been treated to is not something on India's immediate threat radar. But that isn't something the government wants to breathe easy on.
It talks of a caliphate of all of the Ummah, of all Muslims, wherever they may be in the world.
Okay.
And there talks of a pure Islamic rule. Now that is what fascinates, the people who have been radicalized and which makes them gravitate towards the ISIS.
आपकी ह्यूमनिट की रीच सीरिया, इराक, जहां से ये उत्पन्न हो रहा है, वहां तक जो है अपने एजेंट्स आपके पेनिट्रेशन ऑपरेशंस को सफल करना होगा ताकि इसके पहले कि आपके ऊपर वार हो, आपको उसकी खबर हो.
What the intelligence dossier accessed by India today proves beyond doubt is that the ISIS threat to India isn't beyond the horizon anymore, and that India has no time to lose. Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining us now is Shiv Arur, India Today's Shiv Arur, who actually got us this exclusive news break. Now, Shiv, what is the extent of the ISIS threat in India? What does the dossier say?
Well, the extent of the threat is clearly something that India cannot ignore anymore. Remember, before Paris and some of the other attacks that had happened, it was habitual for the Indian government, to at least in public underplay the threat or the influence or the footprint of the ISIS within India. But given a series of incidents ending with what happened in Paris, obviously there's been a wake-up call of sorts within Indian intelligence agencies. But we must also say that the Indian government had, recognized and paid cognizance to the full extent of the ISIS threat even before Paris had happened. There, remember, has been just a few months ago a high-level meeting, by the state intelligence chiefs and police chiefs, headed by the Home Minister, in which the ISIS threat was actually discussed threadbare. At which point it was, due cognizance was paid to the fact that the ISIS is a threat that needs to be taken extremely seriously. It cannot be underplayed. This is something that the ISIS plans to do. India is a high priority country. There are 9, known active ISIS operatives, operating across the country, including in Mumbai, Hyderabad and Bengaluru. These are people who are actively trying to recruit more Indian citizens to go and fight in Iraq or Syria. So this is not a threat that can be, simply underplayed or compared with the extent of threats in other countries. This is real, this is present. For now, it's radicalization and recruitment, but there are experts, including some within the intelligence agencies, who believe that it's only a matter of time, perhaps, before, recruitment and radicalization transforms into actual attacks within India.
Now, Shiv, what is India doing to tackle a possible ISIS threat?
Well, there are several efforts that have actually been made. There is a de-radicalization effort. There are surveillance efforts that have been mounted, by your police agencies, the intelligence agencies in cities like Mumbai, in Hyderabad, in Bengaluru, in several other parts of Uttar Pradesh, of course in Jammu and Kashmir as well, to try and nail down what precisely the extent of these threats really are. From the flag waving, to the arrests that have actually been made, what precisely is the threat? The fact of the matter is India knows that the ISIS has its eyes on the subcontinent. They know that there are propaganda videos out there. They know that they want to try and, radicalize youth, make use of, the surcharged communal atmosphere in certain states to actually turn youth and, lure them into, going to Syria or Iraq to fight on behalf of the Islamic State. This is all established. The defenses against it are, of course, de-radicalization, counterintelligence, interventions, political interventions in some of these hotbeds of recruitment to make sure that, Indian citizens don't fall, prey to these recruitment efforts by the Islamic State. And, of course, a larger national security vision as far as the Islamic State is concerned. Because remember, it's not just the ISIS that India is looking at. India has weathered many storms before as far as terror recruitment is concerned, from the Lashkar-e-Taiba to the Jaish-e-Mohammed to several other terror organizations operating from Pakistan itself. So the Islamic State is definitely not something new as far as what needs to be prepared for is concerned. But the modus operandi, the extent to which the Islamic State has proven it can actually go, is something that India needs to take very, very seriously, and that's what's going to happen now. And this dossier we've accessed pretty much establishes that India is taking this very seriously.
All right, India Today's Shiv Arur there getting us this exclusive news report. Thanks very much, Shiv.